So in this video, I want to show you how you can make advanced custom prompts for your custom GPTs that you can embed into your own website to use for product recommendations, to display images or additional information for your users or your customers. So for example, this is an example chatbot that I've created that can teach people how to use my app. It will show them, for example, how to log into their account. There's an image that's obviously correct for that specific step, how to select the model, the correct code for embedding it, how to actually then go ahead and implement that code into their website. So this is an example of a chatbot that I've created that's scraped every single page of my website. It's got understanding of how the application works, all of the FAQs and commonly asked questions, and it can use this information to guide my users through my software. But there are a lot of use cases, for example, outside of this. One of them being having a chatbot that can actually recommend products. So you can see here, I'm a student, what is the best product for me? And this is scraping, I've actually only got 50 URLs from Apple here. I haven't scraped their entire website. And it's actually going through and it said, here's the MacBook Air, iPad, Apple Watch. And then I've said, okay, what's the cheapest Apple Watch? And it can go ahead and give me all the information and statistics about the Apple Watch and also show me an image of the Apple Watch. It can go ahead and talk about the MacBook Air for computer science, for example. So it's very good at doing recommendations, but sometimes you'll find it will do some weird, odd little things, and you'll want to customize the responses. So how do we actually do that? Well, if you head onto your account, obviously you've got the data feed, which you should have an understanding of. If you don't know any of this, by the way, there's a lot of information on this channel you can go ahead and check out. You can see here, this chatbot, I've got 239 knowledge bases. This is a test account, so the word limit's not actually counting, but a lot of data in his account. I've created multiple different chatbots. But for example, if I want to work out, let's have a look at chatbots. Let's see what I've got. BBC News, for example. The latest BBC News stories. It's showing some images. For example, here. Okay, let's look at this. It's not showing an image, and I want to stop this from happening. So, for example, if I visit this image URL, this is an image that's not actually visible. Doesn't exist. So, for example, if I click on this button here, I can remove this image. What it'll do is it'll blacklist that, and now in future responses it won't show up. Here it's actually using the correct images for its responses, so there's nothing I need to change. But I can come to the prompt section. Well, actually no, let's use this account. Let's come to settings. This is more organized, that's why. So if I look at each of these chatbots, right, Shopify is an example chatbot I've created, but it's using something called the example prompt, and that's because I've been messing around in this account. What is highly possible is that every once in a while you will create or change a prompt in your account that will accidentally, you'll add it to the wrong chatbot, or you'll want to make sure the chatbot's using the correct prompt, or before you edit the prompt of that chatbot, you need to work out what prompt that you're using. So I'm going to select the chatbot. The UDI, for example, is using customer service. Apple is using customer service. This one's using customer service. This one's the only one that's not. So example prompt. Now I can come over to my prompts library. And which one is it? Example prompt, this one here, right? I'm going to need to adjust this prompt. For example, it's just using a whole load of information that's not particularly useful. So I can either go ahead and edit it. So all I need to do is click on this button here, and I can add some information, for example. So what I've done here is I've just added in 2 rules, and you can get as specific as you want. I recommend you get a bit more specific than just adding in 2 rules. You can have a look, for example, if you go to customer service, there's a whole load of other prompts that you can look at for inspiration. But typically the way to do this is if there's a problem that's happening within your chatbot a lot, add it to your prompt and adjust that response in the prompt. So, for example, never invent product links that you do not have access to. A useful prompt, this is actually and should be in your base prompt. Never mix up product images, for example. But you may find that sometimes it does something wrong, and when it makes a mistake, it will typically make the same mistake recursively, so it will happen a lot. So you'll know it's making that mistake, so you just need to stop it from happening within the workspace. Once it doesn't happen in the workspace, it won't happen live on your website. Typically, adding in never rules isn't as good. If you try and do it on a positive spin, it tends to respond better. So this is actually the same as prompting within ChatGPT, more or less. We have a lot of underlying rules that it's following, and a lot of underlying systems created to try and make sure it works correctly. But this does give you a level of control over the chatbot. So for example, what you could say is, rather than never invent product links, is always only ever use links available in the source document, or whatever. Okay, so that's one way of restructuring it. If it's not doing something, think incredibly specifically. You have to think here that the chatbot doesn't know what you're talking about. It doesn't know when you're writing the prompt, right? It doesn't know the context of anything. It only knows the context of what's going on when you're talking to the chatbot. So you have to be very specific in these prompts. If it's not working, if you're having a real big issue with this, don't forget, just send us an email and we can help you out. We can write you a custom prompt. We can debug the issues for you. It's not a difficult problem to fix. Just sometimes it can take a little bit of testing. Again, I've always said here, always recommend user emails, help@ChatIQ.ai if they want to talk to a human. This is something that I would recommend you include in every single prompt. In every single chatbot that you create, it doesn't have this already. It doesn't have this information. It'll be able to extract this information from your website, but it's a very small bit of information, right? It's only one email address out of, it's referencing, I think, about almost 5,000 words in one response. So it's now got to go through that 5,000 words and find the support email, for example. So if you add this information in here, it will always know that's what it needs for its response. So if you've got a press email, you've got a support email, or if some people can go to submit a support ticket, we are adding support tickets in the future, then it's useful to add this information in. Anyway, select the prompt category. I'm going to leave this as private. Click on save. And now, what chatbot were we using? We'll be using that. Shopify. Let's give it a go. Let's go to this one here. Let's do, and this is going to get confused because it's already got support email. I've given it the wrong one, but how can I talk to a human? Obviously, what it's doing here is it's now going to look through the website and see what support emails it's got. But okay, so it's worked. Talk to a human, please email us here, help@chatiq.ai. User clicks that, obviously it opens their mail account. So in this case, this website didn't actually have the support email in it. It didn't know the support email, so it's useful that I added that in. So this is the power of adding custom prompts to your chatbot, and there's a lot that you can do. You can tweak and change all sorts of things. If there's a link, for example, let's try this. Give this a go. Let's pause this. This is just completely off the fly here, so I don't know if this is going to work. But you can see, so I've added another rule. To talk to sales or get a more hands-on support, they can book a call here. Now, this is leading into some advanced prompting. I have a video on the channel. What you can do is you can actually get it to prioritize the user's emotion. If they're really angry, recommend this link. If they're kind of a bit angry, but it can be handled through email this link. So we've just added this in now. Let's go to the chatbot. We're going to say, is there a way I can talk to someone over the phone? And again, this is where you need to debug. I've measured the wrong chatbot. Well, okay. Let's go to here. Is there a way I can talk to someone over the phone? Send this message. Now, I don't know what it's going to respond with here, because it may be this website has actually got a phone number in it. If you want to talk to a human hands-on support, you can book a call here. Click the link, takes me to Calendly. Okay, so very easy to add this sort of information in. For any other inquiries, email help@chatiq.ai. So that is sort of human handoff. You can customize this in whatever way you want. Everything's just created as a URL hyperlink. I found while testing, it's better to do it as a hyperlink than it is to have it as a button, just because people recognize hyperlinks more often. Sometimes it's just a better way to do things. So you can see you can add in all sorts of different links to different products. The other thing, no, I mentioned this already. I think that's everything I want to go through in this video. If you need any additional help or support, go ahead and watch all the other videos on YouTube, or you can go ahead and, where is my website? You can ask the support chatbot here, or you can email us at help@chatiq.ai. Our email is also here as well on the website.